Bonjour, mesdames et messieurs. Hello to everybody. First of all, I'd like to thank Arii Protejate for asking me to be one of the speakers of your meeting. I am very happy to give a speech in front of Romanian leaders who represent protected areas, NGOs, agencies, different administrations, politicians, and so on. So, with a few words, let's introduce myself. My name is Dominique Leveque. I was first elected as a town councillor in 1977. At that time, I was 24 years old. I'm not anymore, as you can see. Then I became deputy mayor and was elected mayor in 1989. And I'm still is. Note that in 1977, I was also elected as a representative of my city at the comité syndical du Parc naturel de la Montagne de Reims, the governance system institution which runs the park. In 2005, I became, probably because I was the mayor of the biggest village of the regional nature park, president of the park. A long time as a mayor, a long time as a president of the park, probably too long. My opponents said that. But it has some advantages. You've got time to do a lot for what you are here, for what we are here. I mean, preservation of nature and sustainable development. So, how does it work? What can you do when you are at the head of a small town in a regional nature park and when you are also president of that park? In the minutes which are left, I would like to tell you about the nature regional parks in France and the Parc naturel de la Montagne de Reims, the town, which I'm the mayor, and what we did together with the park for sustainable development, preservation of nature, protection of environment. But I would like to insist on three different things which are very important. Do not forget that it was Charles de Gaulle, it was at that time President of the French Republic, in 1967, and he was not a member of a Green Party nor a conservationist of nature, who created the regional nature parks. To create a nature park, a regional nature park, is always a bottom-up movement. And of course, the conditions in France, the conditions in Romania are different. I live in a wealthy area based on the champagne business, and each country has to find its own way to preserve nature. What is a nature regional park? How are they created? How does it work? And what are their missions? Does it work? Yes, it does? No. Oh, on the right. You told me the left. Okay, so we've got 51 parks and more than 20 projects in study. It represents about 4,300 villages, 15 regions, and even 2 ultramarines, 74 districts, 4 million of inhabitants, and that means 15% of national territory. Most of the world biosphere reserves are in the nature regional parks. If you look at the new slide, you see that to become a territory of park, you must be a rural, fragile, inhabited area. You need a local commitment, and this is the big word. You need a charter. A park is created by a decree of the French Prime Minister, but before that, there are a lot of meetings, works, studies, The region initiates the process, then, with the municipalities, even the smallest, the NGOs, we elaborate a charter which, at the end, is voted by the different councils, municipalities, district, and region. And then you've got the decree of the Prime Minister for the national brand. And this charter is not forever. Now it lasts 15 years. But at the beginning, it was only 10 years. So you've got to, at the end of the 10 and at the end of the 15 years, rebuild a new charter for maintaining the label of the park by the French state. The governance rests on elected people. In French, we call it a comité syndical. And you've got the local authorities, the representative of the districts, and the representative of the regions. And this governance must act in following the charter, and successfully is better, as you can think. Accomplish the 5 missions that all the regional nature parks must have. And those 5 missions are to protect natural resources, landscapes, and cultural heritage, to contribute to London town planning, to improve local development and quality of life, to inform and educate about our environment, and to experiment and create exemplary actions. Of course, all of the regional nature parks are different in geography, history, different periods of creation, but they must have the 5 missions which are described in this slide. Let's talk about the Montagne de Reims. It's only 600 feet high. Nothing to compare to the Alps or the Carpathian Mountains. But we do have those missions. Let's have a look at the map. It's a suburban park, 80 miles east of Paris, right in the Champagne area, close to 3 towns, Reims, Châlons-en-Champagne, and Épernay. And only with the TGV, 32 minutes from Charles de Gaulle Airport. You know that, Erica. Very convenient. A few reminders. We were created in 1976, which means the first generation of park. We've got 110, 1,010, 100,000, 110,000. You say that. I don't remember my numbers in English. Well, anyway, 54,000 hectares, 34,000 inhabitants, 65 municipalities. 30% of the surface is covered by the vineyards on the hillsides, and the plateau is covered on forest. We do have a charter. This charter is Objective 2020. It is defined on the slide, but the main goal is to federate initiatives to maintain and improve our landscapes for a better quality of life. The role of the park team is to moderate, to advise, to inform, and to experiment with the municipalities and the NGOs. All the park have a motto, which is to convince is better than to force. You saw on the map where Arii Champagne was. You know, it's just below on the map before. Arii Champagne is the most important village of the regional nature park. We do have 6,000 inhabitants because we merged recently with 2 other villages. And of course, the main economy is the champagne business. As a mayor, with my council, we decided to work and to act in the sense of the 4 orientations of the park charter, with the help, the advice, the support of the park team. Remember, my council approved the charter, we voted for it. So the idea was to have action plan in the spirit of the charter. But first of all, I decided to have 2 deputy mayors in charge of that action plan. I call them my green poison. One of the 2 is here to remind us that we are in a protected area. And when we decide an action, The green poison says, oh, you're wrong, don't do that, you've got to do something else. We were certified Agenda 21 for the first time in 2012, which means, of course, action plans, but also involvement of the population, which is not so easy to obtain. Who participates, for what purpose? So we worked on it. Action plan. I would like to show you a few examples. We decided to have no more papers, no more document printed. We use laptops and we use tablets. Another one, the library. We do have a library, but people, old people have problems to go there. So we decided the librarians have to bring the books to talk to the older people, and that's the way we also connect the different generations. No more phytos, no more chemical products on our green land. I'll tell you, all my employees used to employ chemical products. So we had a lot of trainings to change their behavior, and it's not so easy. One of my deputy mayor has a few vineyards, and she is quite old, she's about 76 or 77. And she always says to me, a good vineyard is a vineyard without grass, which is completely wrong. So we have to change the mentality of the people. We do also have an apiary. It's very good for biodiversity, as you know, but also to educate the children, which then became good support. Maybe you know about incredible vegetables. It comes from United Kingdom. We decided to do the same. And we changed a few jardinières, as you say in Romanian, to change them. Not anymore flowers, but vegetables. And the funny thing was that the people in that kind of poor area of my town, they didn't want to take them. We have to tell them, go ahead and take the vegetable. It's good for your health. No chemical products. Another example, we do have community gardens too. We decided to do that. And it was very good because now the people, they talk together, they work together, and they don't own the land. We do own the land. But they decided to make beautiful gardens out of it. Another example, at the school restaurant, we only use organic or fresh products, homemade. We do the cooking. It's not a big, a big restaurant somewhere, and the different places are coming. No, we make the cooking in that restaurant, and it's very good for the kids. We also want to keep the local green market. Every Friday morning there is a local green market, and the people, the other shops, they don't like it because they see them just in front of their shops and they say it's not good for business. But we decided to keep that local green market because we think it's very important to have very good vegetables and very good products. We also have a new treatment plant, and we decided to have solar greenhouse to dry the mud. It's very important because we don't use electricity anymore. Another example, we changed all the boilers, and we have a new digital management system. It takes a lot of money, to change the boilers, but also then we spare money because we don't have to buy energy so much as before. Another example, we do have solar panels on public buildings. And then we have electric vehicles for the local services. No more pollution with the trucks. And also we have electric charging station for everyone. That's the different actions we did, but we also developed the bicycle path and parkings for bicycles because it's very important also. We do have a walking bus. I'm pretty sure you don't know what a walking bus is. But in my town, the mothers and the fathers, they want to, bring their kids to the different schools, and they use their cars, which is not good. Pollution, traffic, too much traffic, and so on. So we decided to employ people. Well, it cost a lot, and I had to convince my different counselors to those people are just, accompany the different kids to the different schools. And so we have a walking bus, a pedibus, we call it, and it works quite well now, except when it's raining, because our kids are made of sugar, as you know, and they can melt. Last slides, that's our new goals, our new visions and values. Just, it was the theme, Erica, remember, of the EUROPARC conference a few months ago. We did organize a recycling depot, but we need to do it to the support and the participation of the population. It opened a few months ago, and the success is here. We do have a problem in transporting the people in our area. We don't have very many public transports, and a lot of people are forced to ride their own car, which means, as you know, more pollution. So we are working on a demand-responsive transport file. It is a very interesting file. We did organize workshops with the population, and I was a little scared about that, but the propositions were good. And we decided to buy electric cars, and the people, we have to share them with a digital application. We found the money. And as we are certified World Heritage in 2015, we had to create a protection zone to regulate renovation and constructions. We did also organize workshops with the population, and we do communicate a lot about that. For the conclusion, I would insist on the quality and the common work between the park and my own city. My staff, the park as mission, and the city as the money and the know-how. Even if it's difficult and has its limits, the importance of the involvement of the population. And of course the necessity, because it must be a bottom-up movement to give a good place to local authorities and its councils. Thank you, merci beaucoup, mulțumesc. Don't forget, last word, don't forget, you're always welcome in the Champagne country, in the Montagne de Reims Regional Nature Park, and in the city of Aix-Champagne.
Merci beaucoup, Dominique.